Hudson County View, live and uncut. And I'm your host, your reflection of perfection, and your number one selection, John R. Heinis, talking the latest and greatest in Hudson County news. So quite a few things happening in the past 7 days, which is not unusual. So first off, we got CarePoint Health. Of course, they own Bayonne Medical Center, Christ Hospital in Jersey City, and the Hoboken University Medical Center. They wrote a letter to Governor Phil Murphy asking for $129 million in American Rescue Plan funds. So unclear what they're going to receive, if anything, but we're going to tell you what the ask is and where we're at and break that down. Also going to talk a little bit about what's going on in that 8th District congressional race. Of course, it's a three-man contest, but it's basically been treated like a horse race between Hoboken Mayor Ravi Bala and the incumbent Congressman Rob Menendez. So Menendez had a slight fundraising edge and has a notable amount more cash on hand than the mayor. The mayor, though, has raised more to date, so we're going to break some of that down for you today. We're also going to talk a little bit about what's going on with NJ Transit. Of course, last week they approved 15% fare hikes. That includes 3% hikes in perpetuity going forward. So that means in the next 6 years, that's a 30% fare in hike for New Jersey commuters. So we're going to talk about that meeting. Also going to chat a little bit about this ranked choice voting out of Jersey City Council and what that trigger ordinance means. All that and a whole lot more. But right after we come back, I'm going to be joined remotely by Jersey City Board of Education trustee Younass Barkouch. We'll be right back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2720.
Hudson County. Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Heinis. So we're just getting our guest acclimated remotely, joining us via cell phone. So for the time being, we're just going to talk about some of those. Oh, actually, he's here. So, okay, here is Jersey City Board of Education trustee Younass Barkouch. Younass, thanks for making this a priority, and thanks for jumping in via cell phone. Sorry we couldn't be sitting next to each other, but thank you for making this a point.
Thank you for having me, John. And I'm sorry that, I'm on my laptop, but I'm on my hotspot, so the connection is horrible. But thank you for having me.
You're welcome. The connection actually seems fine. I mean, the lighting is not perfect, but, we'll see what we can do in post. But so first of all, obviously, I don't think it's a stretch to say that the Jersey City Board of Education has been one of the most chaotic governing bodies in the past couple months, probably the duration of this year, really. Now, there was a brief point where you were the vice president, and then, you saw all the memes about survival and such, and then they voted you out. So tell me about how this whole situation of becoming VP and then being removed unfolded from your point of view.
From my point of view, we originally wanted to remove the previous leadership because we felt that they weren't taking our opinions or advice into consideration. They weren't transparent in terms of what the administration was doing outside of school board meetings. whether it was between employees or parents or students. And, it had been going on since former President Iofi had been president in January 2023. And I think some of the new board members, specifically Trustee Morris, he noticed that after he voted her in and decided to rescind his vote. So for me, it was just trying to do the right thing, trying to increase the transparency for the community, trying to hold the board members and the administration accountable. And I was very fortunate to gain the support of of the majority that put me and Trustee Morris in the leadership. But I learned that, with leadership comes expectations, right? And I realized that the vice president position was nothing but an honorary title, and it was something that was going to be used against me every time there was a vote that we disagreed upon. And so the first incident this came to was deciding whether or not we should reschedule Eid from April 8th, as the district calendar originally had it on, to April 10th, as every Muslim in the world celebrated on. And so, my fellow trustees didn't understand the need to reschedule. I couldn't reason with them. 41 speakers advocating for Eid at our public comment couldn't reason with them. And so they were upset with me and decided to remove me. But I am very grateful that they removed me, because it gives me the freedom to speak on whatever I please without having to worry of being removed.
So, in your estimation, from what you gathered, this situation came about solely because of your advocacy for making sure that Eid was celebrated on the correct day. Is that right?
I think a large role of it, in terms of the trustees outside of President Morris, a large part of it came from refusing to accept at the March 18th meeting that they did not want to take a vote to reschedule Eid. In terms of, Trustee Morris, who's the current president, I think his resentment towards me, or his refusal to advocate on my behalf after pushing me to be his vice president, was that after we had ousted former President Iofi and former Vice President Noemi Velasquez, I had decided, after listening to the community, that maybe I should step up for president, because Trustee Morris, he's 2 months into the position. He's just coming off a suspension when he first got elected. And there's a lot of distrust between the community and himself. And so I thought, maybe being the veteran board members, I could lobby to my board members and ask if I could be president and Trustee Morris could be vice president. Trustee Morris immediately got on the defensive and, used the Eid thing to ultimately oust me.
All right, point taken. So, there's obviously so many things happening with this Board of Education right now, but as far as the actual budget goes, that actually was introduced without much fanfare, even though it's an over $1 billion budget and it's the mandatory 2% tax increase. But because there's been so much, for lack of a better word, shenanigans since then, no one's really talking about that. So what do you think about this year's municipal spending plan, and why do you think this is the right step forward for the district?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. As long as we pass a budget, that's all that matters to me, right? As long as we make sure students have access to the resources that they need, that's all that matters to me. My biggest issue with this budget is that it wasn't given to the board members in advance as a result of the whole, leadership ousting fiasco. It wasn't shared with the community. It's been submitted to the county superintendent. It's been approved by the county superintendent, and there's yet to be a user-friendly budget posted on the district website. We're always going to pass a budget no matter what. The budget's always going to get passed no matter what. The question is it taking recommendations from the community that it serves? Is it taking recommendations from the students that it serves, from the staff that it serves, right? Or is it just a budget that is created by a few in the school district, the higher ups in the administration, without necessarily taking into consideration everyone that deserves to be at the table? So the next step for the school district is to hold public budget hearings from now up until the budget is approved in late May. And I haven't seen anything from the district on holding these budget hearings. So I'm going to hold them accountable to that, because it is required by New Jersey state law.
Much appreciated. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, definitely stick with us as well. We're just going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunley Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-27.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John Heinis, and I'm still here with Jersey City Board of Education Trustee Younass Barkouch. So, Trustee, let's talk a little bit about another hot topic with DOE. There was a letter from former Governor McGreevy, who is now a Jersey City mayoral candidate, who's highly critical of the standardized test scores in the district, and we've seen a lot of pushback from a couple members of the JCEA. So what do you think about this whole situation and what has been said, and, just what's your point of view on this one?
I won't get involved in the feud or the beef between former Governor McGreevy and the JCEA. In my opinion, both sides present valid arguments. In terms of student performance data, that was originally the whole reason why I ran for the school board. Right? I did a fellowship project my senior year of Rutgers where I identified and investigated educational inequity based on school performance data provided by the New Jersey Department of Education. And it was absolutely depressing to see how some of our students are performing and how these issues have been ongoing. And it doesn't seem that, there's any initiatives in place to improve their performance or their overall outcomes or secondary enrollment or college readiness. But at the same time, I can see the JCEA argument, which is, our school district is very large. It's the second largest in the state. It deals with a number of at-risk populations, at-risk student populations, low-income students, English as a first language students, students with disabilities, special needs. So, it's very difficult to compare us with other school districts when you consider all the factors that make Jersey City Public Schools who they are and what they are. But ultimately, I do think that the feud aside, the school board needs to do a better job of getting more public input, of including community members in their decision-making process. Everyone knows that I'm a legislative aide, and what I've seen in the Assembly and in the Senate, during budget season, is various community members, various organizations, reaching out to their elected officials at the state level and going, hey, we'd like to see this portion of the budget allocated towards this. And I think that's what all school districts, especially Jersey City Public Schools, should be offering its constituency, its parents, its students. I mean, we offer students a participatory budget as part of the citywide student council. And, in the past 2 years, I've realized that, students don't have the sole discretion to decide how that money is spent. Oftentimes, they're influenced by their principals or the people responsible for running the citywide student council. I've heard that athletic directors don't get the opportunity to provide their input in terms of, what resources they need for sports, after-school activities. When the budget for after-school activities and sports is combined and it's a measly $6 million, it's pretty upsetting. It's pretty disturbing. So I think personally the schools should do a better job of listening to the students, the parents, as well as their staff, and not just the higher up ones.
Very good, Trustee. Thanks for that feedback. Now, when we're talking about the NJDOE regarding the February 29th meeting, there were some folks within the district and on your board that were hoping that they would get involved and weigh in on that decision. Obviously, now we're approaching 2 months later and nothing has happened. Do you anticipate that it will or no?
I don't really know for certain. I played a role in removing former President Iofi and former Vice President Velasquez, and I wrote up the policy violations that they had committed. So I imagine who's ever responsible read these policy violations because they're within the guidance of state law and realized that, we had every right to remove him. My issue with my removal was everything that I'd quote unquote violated was from our ethics rules. And there's an ethics commission that decides whether or not you acted unethically. So for my trustees to remove me without necessarily waiting or submitting some sort of complaint to the ethics commission is absolutely ludicrous. So I don't expect to hear anything from the NJDOE in regards to the February 29th fiasco, because it was done as properly as it could have been. And there is a need to create policy now for Jersey City Board of Education, so that way the next time we come across a situation like this, we don't have to go up to the state, we don't have to go up to the county superintendent. We have a policy that clearly dictates what we can and what we can't do in terms of removing leadership.
I don't think anybody would disagree with that. I mean, I don't think people want to see this happen every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. Real quick before you go, to circle back to Eid briefly, Trustee, there was an iftar celebration, and we saw these two completely different points of view from President Morris and Ward D. Councilman Youssef Saleh. My understanding is you were present. Anything you'd like to share about what took place that day?
I plan to write an op-ed about what happened. I've just been giving it some time because I don't think anyone should write anything or put out anything based on emotion. But I was at this iftar with Councilman Saleh. I was there for the entire interaction, and just the level of respect that Dejan Morris treated, the first Muslim city councilor in Jersey City history, the highest elected Muslim official in Jersey City, was absolutely disgusting, right? And it was after Councilman Saleh offered his hand just after publicly apologizing to him for, a little bit of the tension between them when they first entered. And, Dejan Morris would not shake the councilman's hand and then proceeded to go, it's assumed that what Councilman Saleh was saying was a threat, and then proceeded to threaten that he would ensure that Eid would not be on the right date for as long as he was a school board member. I think when you're president of the most diverse school district in New Jersey, that is absolutely horrible to say, and he should be removed, in my opinion. And I'm sure there are members of the community that are working to remove him.
So Councilman Saleh's account from your perch, so to speak, that was 100% accurate?
Councilman Saleh's account was 100% accurate in terms of how everything went down. It was 100% accurate. And if you'd like, I'm happy to meet with you again and we can go into detail on that because I know we don't have much time.
Trustee, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Next time, hopefully we'll catch you in the studio, but I really do appreciate you sticking to this commitment and making the time.
Of course. I love you, John.
All right. Thanks, Younass. Talk soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Good Friend Self Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation, credit cards and debit cards accepted, financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2720.
Hudson County View live on Uncut, John Heinis. So let's get into some recent news. So over here on Monday, I reported about this letter that 4 officials from CarePoint Health from both the Broad organization and from the Bayonne Medical Center, Christ Hospital in Jersey City, and the Hoboken University Medical Center. And they wrote to Governor Phil Murphy, again, as I said at the top of the program, looking for $129 million in state funding in American Rescue Plan dollars. Now, if you guys did see, at the beginning of the month, the Record had a pretty interesting story, in my opinion, that there's billions of extra dollars from American Rescue Plan funds. Of course, that's federal money that was released during COVID-19, at least at the height of the pandemic. And there's still a few $billion left, and those allocations have to be done by the end of 2026, or they revert back to the U.S. Treasury. So with that context in mind, the letter said in part, the hospitals are critical access points for the people of Hudson County and its surrounding communities. We are seeking $125 million in ARPA, Coronavirus Recovery / State Fiscal Recovery Fund, to ensure the hospital's capacity to deliver healthcare services to the diverse communities throughout Hudson County. Now, specifically, they're saying this is needed to purchase the hospital land and continue providing healthcare services without interruption. The second part probably is pretty obvious, but nonetheless, want to make sure that that's stated outright. And the people who signed it are the chief hospital executives for Christ Hospital, that's Marie Duffy, and her counterparts in Hoboken, Anthony Gigliardi, and Bayonne, that's Dr. Alfredo Rabides, and also the CarePoint Health Systemic Chief Medical Officer, John Rimmer. Now, they also refer to Christ Hospital and the Hoboken University Medical Center as safety net hospitals that have collectively seen over 60,000 charity visits in their emergency departments, as well as more than 40,000 charity visits at their neighborhood health centers since the beginning of COVID. So, I think that point is fairly clear. The only other thing that I'll mention is obviously CarePoint's finances have seen better days. Now, we've talked about this for many months, but remember, in January, they announced a team up with former rival Hudson Regional Hospital over in Secaucus, but it turns out that announcement came the same day that a state monitor was appointed, again, due to financial concerns. So that was about a month after CarePoint President and CEO, Dr. Enchidia Malik, said the hospital chain would need $130 million to continue operating, quote, at an optimal pace. So with all that, we haven't heard anything from Trenton. And when we do hear something from the governor's office or some department from the State House, we will definitely 100,000% let you know. Now, let's move on to the 8th District congressional race. So, long story short, this has been a very, very expensive and a very competitive contest debate to date. And what you have is you've had, Mayor Bala probably put out at least a handful of mailers. He's been up on TV with at least 2 commercials. And, the congressman has hit mailboxes pretty hard in his own right. So I always like to take a look at what's going on through the Federal Elections Commission reports. Of course, most of you know it as the FEC. Long story short is this. Bala has raised nearly $1.6 million to date. That's pretty impressive for any challenger on any level, I think. But in this quarter, Menendez had a slight advantage. He raised about $679,000 compared to $649,000 from Bala. Bala has about $992,000 cash on hand. Menendez has more along the lines of about $1.2 million cash on hand. It would take a really long time to go, 1.175 actually, be a little closer for Menendez. We can read all these donors that I noted, but it's a pretty long article. I mean, we're talking between these two candidates, they had 650 plus pages of finance reports filed. So there's a lot of spending, there's a lot of fundraising going on in this contest. Couldn't overstate that enough. And certainly it's only gotten more interesting with no county lines for Democrats this election cycle. Now, the only other point that I'll make here, actually 2 points. So Kyle Jasey, the third candidate in the race, has only raised $4,648, so not really enough to compete in this one. I mean, this is going to be really competitive and really expensive, as we've seen. Now, perhaps the most important point, at least from my vantage point, my point of view, is that on May 28th, we have confirmation from Mayor Bala and Congressman Menendez that they'll be here at Hudson Media Group at 6 p.m. to do a 1 hour long debate. To my knowledge, folks, this is the only in-person congressional debate in New Jersey, so I'm really happy that we got this together. It took a lot of articulous and meticulous planning, and I want to say thank you to both campaigns for making sure that they're a part of it. And of course, I want to thank producer Pat O'Melia and of course production, my friend Garrett. None of this would be possible without all those people involved. And just again, want to say a big thank you, and we're really looking forward to it. So moving on, let's talk a little bit on some more state-oriented issues. For example, NJ Transit increasing commuter fares 15% in face of a public outcry against it. You guys remember that I've talked about that there were 10 public meetings throughout New Jersey, only one in Hudson County, that was at the Secaucus Transit Station, named after former Senator Frank Lautenberg. And eventually, there was over 900 people, including a couple dozen last Wednesday. At the end of the day, the 15% hike was increased, and the only real feedback we got is that one of the board members said that, well, we didn't really have any choices other than to cut services or hike the rates, which certainly some people are not particularly happy with, and that includes Mayor Bala, actually, who went to both the Secaucus meeting and the board of directors meeting, and he came out today reiterating his stance that Governor Murphy should veto the minutes. He did do this in October, if you remember, with the Turnpike Authority, so it's not unprecedented, but I wouldn't get your hopes up either. So folks, we're going to take one more break. We'll be right back.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and launch inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Hudson County View, live and uncut, John Heinis. Just a few more before we let you guys call it a week. Now, ranked choice voting, obviously this is something that was talked about in Jersey City for a long time, and we also, a lot of you probably forgot, I mean, honestly, I sure did. Hoboken City Council approved this at the end of 2021, and that was a trigger ordinance. So what does that mean? Now, a trigger ordinance in this particular instance means that in the event that the New Jersey legislature approves this ranked choice voting bill, which currently is being sponsored by State Senator Raj Mukherjee and Assemblyman John Allen, of course, of Jersey City and Hoboken, respectively, then what will happen is it will trigger a local referendum to let the voters decide if they want ranked choice voting in their respective municipality. So that's two big ones in Hudson County, but of course, a lot of work to be done in Trenton. So the only thing that I'm going to note here, since we're running low on time, short on time, is that it was a 7-0-1 vote. Ward C Councilman Rich Baggiano abstained, and Ward A Councilwoman Denise Ridley was absent. The measure was sponsored by Councilmen James Solomon and Frank Gilmore of Wards E and F, respectively. So, going right down the street back to Hoboken, you guys recall last week that there was a vote on their budget. Got voted down, or sorry, 2 weeks ago, there was a vote on their budget. It's approximately $144.3 million. It came with a 5.9% tax increase, and you saw 5 council members vote against it. And that was Paul Presenzano, Tiffany Fisher, Mike Russo, Ruben Ramos, and Jen Giattino, who was the council president. And most of them cited the fact that they did not get a chance to look at the budget. They said they got the budget between 11 a.m. and noon on that day, and the meeting was at 7 p.m. And for any of you that's gone through a municipal budget, it's not exactly quick reading, so they decided that that wasn't good enough. As a result, there was a special meeting on Monday at 5:30, and in what I think has a strong contender to be a Hudson County record, this meeting was just 7 minutes. Now, really, if it wasn't for the one public comment, we could have been done in like 3 minutes, and that certainly would have been a record, but nonetheless, that's what happened. And there's really not much else to tell there other than that the budget hearings are underway. And there was some last night. There was actually one right after the Monday meeting. And there is a regular meeting tonight at 5. And then there's another special meeting for April 24th, also at 5. Not really sure why they're moving the times around here. So I'm hoping to get some clarity on that and let you guys know. And finally, on a last final Mile Square City note, Hoboken Democratic Committee, who you know went against the HCDO and ended up endorsing Mayor Ravi Bala for Congress and U.S. Rep. Andy Kim for Senate. That's back when First Lady Tammy Murphy was still in the race. You saw right after that vote last month, the chair, Rachel Hodes, resigned. Now her successor has been named, and it is Councilman-at-Large Joe Quintero. Not a big surprise. You knew it was going to be somewhat affiliated with Mayor Bala. He ran with him in 2021, and he was one of the first people to publicly embrace the idea of Bala running for Congress. With that, folks, we're going to call it a week. Next week, I'm going to be joined with New Jersey City University President Andres Acebo. We'll see you then.
Thanks for watching Hudson Media Group.